Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the darkest stories surrounding Tekashi 6ix9ine. His close friend, Ariela Langosta Mejía-Polanco, was tragically shot dead, and this situation is way deeper than it looks on the surface. Before we even get into the details of Ariela's death, you gotta understand why Tekashi 6ix9ine has been living under a permanent target. Since the start of his career, he's built fame not just on music, but on controversy, trolling, and flat-out disrespecting the very codes that govern the streets. Back in 2018, his legal troubles with the Nine, Trey Gangsta Bloods, exploded. He was arrested on racketeering charges and ended up testifying against his own crew to reduce his sentence. That move earned him the label of a snitch, a stain in hip-hop culture that never goes away. Overnight, he became not only an internet meme, but also a marked man in real life. Add to that the fact that he constantly taunted rappers, called out gangs, and traveled the world without much fear, showing jewelry, cars, and women on Instagram. It painted him as reckless and untouchable. But here's the thing. When you've got enemies everywhere, no one around you is safe. 6ix9ine has already been jumped in gyms, caught in fights in clubs, and stalked by haters on social media. The crazy part? Instead of backing off, he doubled down. He clowned the same people he betrayed, dared rivals to find him, and leaned into his controversial persona. That's the backdrop. This isn't just a rapper losing a friend. This is the life Tekashi chose. And unfortunately, the people closest to him are paying the price. On August 17, 2025, the body of Ariela Mejía-Polanco, better known as Ariela La Langosta, was discovered inside her car in Mount Vernon, New York. She had been shot dead, and authorities immediately ruled it a homicide. But what shocked people most wasn't just the fact that she died. It was how law enforcement described it, a targeted attack, not some random act of violence. For those who don't know, Ariela wasn't just some casual acquaintance of Tekashi. She was a major figure in the New York nightlife scene, working with clubs like Ikon, Opus Lounge, and Starlets. She was also featured in Tekashi's 2023 music video, Wapae, and for years, she'd been spotted alongside him in social settings. Their friendship went beyond business. It was genuine. After her death, tributes poured in from the nightlife community, calling her a radiant personality, a loving mother, and a woman whose energy lit up every room. But for Tekashi, the news hit differently. On Instagram, he wrote emotional words, calling her his sister, the Queen of New York, and saying, NY won't ever be the same. I loved you. For a man who thrives on trolling and chaos, it was one of the rare moments of raw vulnerability we've ever seen from him. Now, here's the chilling part. According to reports, this wasn't a robbery gone wrong. She wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. Investigators believe she was deliberately targeted because of her connection to Tekashi. And that changes everything. This wasn't about Ariela personally. It was about sending a message. It was about hurting 6ix9ine in a way that hits him where he can't fight back, by taking away the people closest to him. So, the big question, why Ariela? Let's break it down. Tekashi has enemies spanning multiple states and even overseas. When he cooperated with federal authorities against the 9 Trey Bloods, he didn't just burn bridges. He poured gasoline, lit a match, and broadcast the fire on Instagram Live. People in that world don't forget. The reality is, if they can't get Tekashi directly, whether because he's too well protected at times or because police are constantly watching him, they'll target those around him. Ariela was close enough to him to make a statement, but public enough that her death would shake headlines. What's even darker is how it mirrors what critics of Tekashi have been saying for years. The risk isn't just his own life, it's the lives of everyone who stands next to him. Remember when he was beaten in a Florida gym in 2023? That attack proved that his enemies will take opportunities wherever they appear. Now, this tragedy takes it to another level. Reports suggest that Ariela's killing was a planned execution, not a spur-of-the-moment shooting. Authorities have said multiple agencies, including the FBI's Safe Streets Task Force, are investigating. That's how serious this is. It's not just local beef. It's organized, deliberate, and deeply tied to Tekashi's long trail of feuds. Her death wasn't just about silencing her, it was about punishing Tekashi and reminding him that no matter how much money he flashes or how many countries he flies to, his past can always find him. And let's be real, this wasn't just to hurt Tekashi emotionally. It was also to send a chilling message to anyone else who thinks standing beside him is safe. It tells the world, if we can touch her, we can touch anyone. That's the weight Tekashi carries now. Ariela's murder wasn't random, it was calculated, and it's proof that the war around him isn't over, not by a long shot. When Ariela's death was announced as a targeted homicide, it was basically a confirmation that the people who hate Tekashi aren't letting up. The term ops gets thrown around loosely in rap, but in this case, it's literal. Real enemies, real consequences. Think about Tekashi's recent years. He's been attacked in gyms, he's been kicked out of clubs after brawls, he's had federal raids on his homes, and now people in his orbit are turning up dead. This isn't internet beef. This is a slow, methodical campaign to wear him down. Every hit, whether it's physical violence or reputational damage, is meant to chip away at his invincible persona. And with Ariela gone, it shows the ops are playing the long game. Some speculate that her murder might have even been a warning, that if they can get to her, they can get to anyone close to him. Tekashi might be living with security, cameras, and lawyers, but not everyone he calls family has that same protection. And this is where it gets even scarier. Tekashi thrives on attention. He's addicted to proving that no one can touch him. Every flashy post, every expensive chain, every Instagram live flex, it's all fuel for the ops. He might see it as entertainment, but for those who want him gone, it's bait. He keeps giving them reasons to act, and eventually, someone does. That creates a chilling ripple effect. Who wants to stand next to Tekashi now? Who wants to party with him, work with him, or even be seen with him, knowing that association alone could paint a target on your back? Even loyal friends and business partners start to rethink the risk. At the same time, Tekashi is stubborn. If history tells us anything, it's that he thrives on proving people wrong. He'll probably flaunt even harder, post even louder, and claim that nobody can touch him. But deep down, he has to know. The ops just proved they can hit where it hurts most. And if the cycle continues, Ariela might not be the last name tied to his story. Here's the bigger issue. Tekashi's entire career has been fueled by chaos. His rainbow hair, wild persona, and trolling tactics turned him into a superstar. But the same things that made him famous are now haunting him. The tragic death of Ariela is more than a personal loss. It's a sign of what happens when the lines between entertainment and street reality blur. Tekashi played the game like it was Mortal Kombat, but the people he crossed weren't playing. The streets don't forgive, and they don't move on when the spotlight shifts. Now, his legacy is being rewritten in real time. Instead of being remembered for hits like Gummo or Fee, he's being associated with betrayal, constant beef, and now, the murder of his closest friend. Fans who once saw him as a wild, entertaining troll are now starting to question whether the act was ever worth it. From a business standpoint, the consequences are piling up too. Major labels hesitate to back him, promoters don't want the liability, and venues worry about violence breaking out whenever he shows up. Even if he drops new music, the cloud of controversy overshadows it. Ariela's death doesn't just hurt Tekashi personally, it makes him even more radioactive in the industry. And then there's the cultural side. Hip-hop has always had a complicated relationship with snitching and authenticity. Tekashi's cooperation with the feds already damaged his credibility, but now his lifestyle is actively costing lives. That's not something you can clown your way out of. It forces the hip-hop community to confront whether trolling and shock value are worth celebrating when the stakes are this real. Even if Tekashi himself survives, the question becomes, at what cost? How many more people in his circle will have to suffer? And how long can he keep dodging bullets, literally and figuratively, before the chaos he built consumes him completely? His career started as a spectacle, but if things keep escalating, it might end as a cautionary tale. So here's where we stand. Ariela Langosta Mejía-Polanco was killed in what police are calling a targeted attack, likely tied to Tekashi 6ix9ine's long list of enemies. It wasn't random, it was deliberate. And it sends one message loud and clear. His past is still chasing him. For 6ix9ine, the question isn't just how long he can keep living like this. It's who else might pay the price before the story finally ends. Every headline, every tragedy, and every attack pushes him closer to the edge. He can flex all he wants, but the reality is catching up fast. And as fans, critics, or just spectators, we're left wondering, is this story going to end with a comeback, or with a cautionary tale carved in tragedy?